Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at Warhammer The Age of Darkness Saturnine, the new 2-player box set and starter set, or 1-player box set and starter set for Warhammer The Horus Heresy. And this was kindly sent as a complimentary review copy by Games Workshop and is a huge box of models. It goes on pre-order today and retails for I think like $390 Canadian, almost $400 Canadian. And I'm going to do a review in several parts today, as I want to do with these big box sets. We're going to take a look at the box, we're going to take a look at the models, and we're going to take a look at the rules. And we're going to take a look at the models through the lens of the Libers and the sort of like big key changes that have happened to the third edition of Warhammer, the Horus Heresy. We're also going to look at it through the lens of comparing it to this guy, the previous starter set. This is Warhammer The Age of Darkness starter set, which I will be basically putting side by side with this box right here, comparing the two of them, the value and what they kind of like do as starter sets. And I want to answer two questions. What do I think of this as a starter set? And what do I think of it as a product? Because those are two different things and they're going to mean different things to different players. If you're new to Warhammer The Horus Heresy, you're going to care about this as a starter box. If you are a veteran of The Age of Darkness, you're probably going to care about it more as a box of models and a way to get your hands on the rules. Let's dive in and take a look. All right, and here we have the two boxes side by side. Age of Darkness with Age of Darkness Saturnine. So, first things first, component count. How to do a comparison between these two boxes. Now, I have got my Raven Guard here, all painted up. This is the full contents of the Age of Darkness box. It is 40 Tactical Marines, 10 Terminators in their Cataphractii armor, 2 Praetors, one with an axe, one with a blade, a Spartan assault tank, and a Contemptor class Dreadnought. This was roughly 2,000 points, and it could be split in between two armies if you wanted, or you could do them as a single one, which was, of course, what I did. You got some transfers for the Sons of Horus and the Imperial Fists here. A smaller transfer sheet, actually, than what you get in this new box. Templates, classic whippy sticks, classic dice. You got some reference sheets, and most importantly, you got a build guide that came with a section of the actual army list from the Liber books. Rules for your Praetor, point values, how to exchange their weapons, build them with different loadouts. And you got that for the Contemptor, the Tactical Squad, and also the Spartan additional weapon rules for any of the weapons that were on these tanks. And even the core rules for things like grenades, smoke launchers, and an ID chart for all your weapons. So really handy book and meant that you got a lot of replayability out of this box set. Now, by comparison, you get almost the same model count. You get 40 Mark II Tactical Marines as opposed to Mark VI, with this exact same corresponding commands for, which gives you all of your bolter add-ons, your little like sword bayonets there, your power fist / lightning claw, power sword, and a plasma pistol. You get 4 of these, and then you get 2 of these veteran frames with disintegrators and disintegrator cannons and heavy disintegrators. So, and a combi weapon as well. And that will make 20 of these guys into veterans, 20 into Tactical Marines if you want, or you could just do 40 and 40, or 40 and 20 if you, or 40 Tactical Marines if you want, or 30 and 10, or however you want to split it up. You get a lovely Praetor. This is the Saturnine Praetor in Vulcan's like experimental Saturnine armor. And you also get a Centurion, and now he's got his Power Maul here as a single weapon option, but you do get a like a big hammer, Saturnine hammer, and axe. So you have 2 build options for this guy right here, and a couple different heads. We get the centerpiece model. Now, this is comparative to the Spartan in this box set. He is a big mamma jam. He's going to run about 400 points, about the same price as the Spartan in like game terms, and has a variety of weapon options and comes on the most like frames and pieces of any kit here. We have our accelerator autocannon, like special turret, which is our other gun emplacement. It's kind of comparable to the Contemptor in this box set, although not quite. It's not quite as many points. Only has a single build option. And then we get 6 of these Saturnine Terminators. Now, these are on double frames, two identical Terminators, but have a variety of different like arm options to make them slightly different. Accessories. Well, gone are the red whippy sticks, but in are tokens. Take that, token makers of the world. Workshop is getting in front of this with objective markers and all the status tokens for things like stunned and panicked and running away and stuff, as well as numbered objective tokens, because objectives can be worth different point values when you play 1, 2, and 3 when you're holding them. Bases for everybody. Whippy sticks are gone, replaced by these measuring sticks. If anybody remembers, Battle of 5 Armies, that's from there. We get a slightly less comprehensive, but slightly more, I would say, project, if you're a project manager, written reference compendium. Like, for instance, it has all the charts from the rulebook, but doesn't actually tell you how to charge. It's a good reference sheet, but it really is just a reference, whereas the previous one would almost let you play the game from it. And then finally, we have our two sort of variant things. The build guide here is in full color, and it's also a complete how to play step-by-step. And we'll focus on this more in the rulebook section. But what it doesn't contain, and this is one complaint with this, it doesn't contain any points or stats for playing army lists out of this box set. So you don't actually know how many points these guys are, and you can't really build an army list. You can just kind of play the introductory scenario and build your guys, and that's it. And then we have our core rulebook. So let's talk about value. Well, this box over here, the Age of Darkness box, in Canada retailed at about $300. I think it's like $315, depending on where you bought it from. It's going to be $375 Canadian for Saturnine. But the value, if you break down the components, is much higher. This one saves you about $160 buying the components individually. This one's going to save you almost $315, $320. So this one's roughly almost a 50%, you're getting a 50% discount on buying all the kits individually. This one over here was more like a 35% discount on buying stuff differently. So while this is dollar value higher than the Age of Darkness box set, the kits that come in here, the price tag on them when you buy them individually later on is going to be much higher. Now that could be two things. That could also just be simply in 3 years, the individual prices of kits have gone up significantly. So that has put the value savings up when they bundle all these sprues together, because we're going by sprue count here, right? Not necessarily by value of kit. But it does mean that if you wait and you don't grab the Saturnine box, you're going to have to pay more. This is roughly 2,000 points. When we get to the model section and talking about the levers and the biggest changes to the game from the lever point of view, that'll be a separate video. But yeah, this is more on the box itself. So is it worth it? I would say so. If you're looking to get into the Age of Darkness for the first time and you just want to save some bucks and have an army right away, this is a good starting thing. It's a bit awkwardly constructed point value wise and army construction wise, but again, we'll get to that in the models. But as far as value goes, great. Product design, I wish it had army lists in it. That's the one thing that this box still has over this one over here, was replayability. You could simply play more games after you'd assembled your miniatures out of this because you had the army lists in your construction booklet. So, but then flip side, this included nothing of a step-by-step on how to play. You had to digest this 150 pages of rules to play the game. There was no getting started book, which this one does have. So it kind of is a wash. You have more replayability out of this one for a veteran player, but at the same time, if you're a new player, it didn't hold your hand as much. This one holds your hand more, but you don't quite have the same replayability without getting the levers afterwards. So it's kind of a net zero. They made some improvements, but they got rid of some stuff that I thought was really important, and I wish they'd carried over. They carried most of it over into the new edition and the new box set, and they definitely increased the dollar value, but of course there can be reasons for that outside of just the decided discount for the box sets. There it is, a comparison of Age of Darkness to Age of Darkness Saturnine. So we're going to look at the box set Warhammer Age of Darkness, the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness Saturnine, and its components and sort of layout. So what do I think of this as a starter set? Well, it's funny. I do think that in comparison, there's a few little things that actually make the Age of Darkness starter set better as a starter. It included point values and army composition for the models that came in the box. And while this one does have an introductory booklet that I think is actually superior to the introductory material in the Age of Darkness, doesn't require to digest the entire rulebook, not giving you a way to balance forces or play the 3 core missions that come in the rules make it less of an effective starter. It's kind of trading one thing for something else. Requiring you to get the levers to actually build your armies out of the box means that you're kind of stuck building and painting your miniatures out of this box set right here, and you won't get to the play section with an additional purchase in really a meaningful way. Whereas the Age of Darkness starter set, you could actually just play with just that box into infinity if you never purchased anything else, just with the point values of what came in here. Was it a diverse game with all the possibilities of the Age of Darkness? No, but it mechanically worked as far as allowing you to understand what army construction meant and how to play. So that's part one. How does it, as a starter set? Kind of flat. It does one thing better by teaching you the mechanics of the rules, but then one thing worse by making it have less replayability just out of the box by itself. So kind of flat as a starter set, and I just wish they'd put in the same basic point values that they put in this Age of Darkness box. Now, how is it as a value of box? It's basically 50% off the models. Once you're paying for the rule book out of this box set, and let's say just the Big Dread and the Terminators, the rest of the box is effectively free. And that's going to add up to, if it's about $400 Canadian, it's probably about $400 for the free stuff. So you're looking at, just under $1,000 probably Canadian, in materials, if you don't count the tokens and the dice and the, jacked up whippy stick, the weird folding whippy stick. Then yeah, it's a great value because that's what these boxes do, is they get you a whole bunch of miniatures in one go. And it really is commensurate with the miniatures that came in this box. You get the 40, Tactical Marine bodies. You get the same amount of command sprues if you want to make them all Tactical Marines if you want. You get the excellent veteran sprues to make them all have disintegrators. So 20 of them can be veterans. And you get 2 heroes. I do wish it does mean, we'll talk about this in a future video, but it does lead to some awkward army construction. So there is my thoughts on the box set itself. If you want to check out the videos today for the rule books that come in here, that will help you understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about when it comes to the comparison of like the previous box set and this box set, because I put them side by side. And I'll be going through my top 4 big changes in 3rd edition Horus Heresy that I think are super important. And then when we talk about the actual like levers and army lists, that will be the last, the model section where we talk about the models come in this box and how to construct a just roughly 2,000 point army out of what comes in here using the new levers. So big thanks for watching. We'll see you for more GMG reviews. Tell them Ash. Have a good one.